When we talk about people's monsters and kids' monsters, a lot of them are pretend because they're in a book or they're on a movie. But, his monsters were for real. I mean, he's family to me. They call him the Hitman. That's his nickname.
My name is Roger Hilly. I'm the youngest of 6 siblings. Oh yeah, we're all close. Yeah. We are all split up because they all live in different cities and stuff now. But we try to drive to each other the most we can. Now my real dad was in and out. He never really had much, so you can't really ask for much. It's a funny story. I don't have my dad's last name, and I don't have my mom's last name either. My mom named me after the person that she was married to at the time. Yeah, I lived with him. So basically, when I was born, he gave me his name, which means he adopted me when I was born. Well, like I said, I was in and out of different households, so it took a village. It was a little bit of everybody. Everybody pitched in a little bit. I would stay here for a couple months. I'd go over here for a week, go over here for a few days, off and on from different households. Oh man, like I said, from jumping house to house, I mean, at one point, my house was infested with fleas. I used to have to go next door and take a pot that you would cook in, and I would take a bath out of that pot. You know what I'm saying? Go down to the store. We used to go down to the store. I have a hoodie on, put some potatoes in the hoodie, get some ramen noodles in my pocket, stuff like that, and that's how I had to eat. I'm like 7, 8, 9 years old, and I have to steal for food. If I'm 7, 8, 9 years old, I'm a kid, I don't know that I'm really traumatized. Like, I'm really traumatized, but I don't know it, because I think that's the way of life. Oh, I just want to eat today. There's no lights, I just light a candle. As a kid, like, my survival mode was already, I'm already, like, thinking like an adult. As a kid, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to sit in the corner and cry because we don't have power. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know I was traumatized till I got to YCAP. And we're in devotion time, and everybody's talking about what's going on, and they're telling me that is not okay. It is not okay for you to not have food. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that wasn't okay. I just thought I wasn't eating that day.
Well, my parents have fostered over 26 children, throughout a 15-year span, and Roger wasn't the first. Actually, his older brother was living with us at the time, and then when we brought Roger in, it was just like having another little brother in the house, and you quickly realize that, man, you become family.
When they took me in, they had to hold me back in school, so I did the 5th grade twice. They wanted me to relearn everything because I missed so much of school from moving around from house to house. My mom was okay with me going to the Smiths, from what she tells me. She told me, she said, I wanted you to go with them. Yeah, at this time, I was young. I was really young, so I didn't know this. But she actually told me one day, she was like, I wanted you to go live with them, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom wasn't on her feet, you know what I'm saying? So someone else had to take me in, and she was okay with that. My dad used to always say that he used to say, make good choices. Every day when I leave the house, that's what he would tell me as I'm walking out the door. Make good choices. And I think that, watching them love on everybody, and I just always wanted to be, neutral. You know what I'm saying? I never had to pick sides out in the world and stuff like that. I just could be myself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that their impact and made me stray the right way. Yeah, because my dad used to always say, I was representing him. He would tell me I'm representing him. So I'm thinking about that as I'm going about my day, making choices. Before I make a decision, who am I representing? I'm representing this YCAP. You know what I'm saying? That the words that are on my jacket. You know, I'm in public with YCAP on my jacket. You know. Well, I feel like your dad doesn't mean that's your blood. You know what I'm saying? I feel like loyalty and just the impact and the love that he showed me, he's earned the right to be called my dad. I think it was just the guidance and the exposure I was getting. You know, I mean, I've been all over the world, and I just enjoyed being able to do things that most kids in my neighborhood had never even thought about doing. I mean, nobody in my neighborhood would have ever dreamed about going whitewater rafting or something like that, you know? So just those experiences were different, which I think is what made me like gravitate towards them more. You know, even though I hung with the worst people you could think of, those guys were my friends, you know? But anytime something was going on, I was always that kid that was like, all right, I'll see y'all later. Hey, we about to go do this, so we about to get into this. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I always had that. I think that's what kept me out of trouble. Even though I was their friends and stuff like that, I hung with those guys that were getting in trouble. When it was time to get in trouble, I chose not to get in trouble, you know? So that was the thing.
Well, because when Roger first started boxing, you know, skill-wise, he wasn't great. But what he did have was he could punch really hard. And so, you know, we gave him the nickname Hitman, and it stuck with him ever since. Roger and I became close because, you know, he boxed in 2 different Olympic trials. So there was a lot of ups, a lot of downs, traveling essentially all over the world with him. So you just develop those unique bonds, you know, that become unbreakable, you know, over the years. We talk essentially every day, whether it's via text or phone call, and you know, anytime that I need him to do something for me, he's always there, and I try to reciprocate the same for him. And you know, he does a fantastic job of taking the things that sort of we've taught him over the years through the program, and now he's taking all those lessons and giving them back to the next generation as he's coaching, you know, the younger kids that come in. And so that's kind of how this thing called life is supposed to work, right? You know, you learn lessons throughout your life, and then hopefully you pass those life lessons on to the next generation. To me, that's exactly what he's doing.
I think it didn't really click for me until I was about like 19. I think I was still living the double life thing, you know, still in the streets but still trying to box at the same time. I think I was still doing that until about 20. And I think at that point, I think it's when I found out I was having my daughter. I feel like when I found out I was having my daughter, that's when everything really changed for me. Yeah. I was not ready to be a family man at the time, but I was definitely ready to figure things out, knowing that I had a daughter coming. You know, I'm like, my mindset was just like, go to work. So actually, when I found out that she was gonna be born, I stopped boxing and went full time just working at Amazon. Yeah, and up until she was born. And then when she was born, I stopped working at Amazon and went back to boxing. There's lessons that I still get today from coaching and mentoring kids that I apply in being a father. You know, so I'm learning as I'm going. I don't have it all figured out. Like every day I'm learning a new way to raise my daughter, you know? Yeah. I'm getting a lot of practice from these kids though. Oh yeah, she anytime you ask her where does she want to go, she's going to say I want to go to my Mimi's house. Mimi is Mrs. Smith, Mrs. America, as my dad would say.
You know, Roger's just done a really good job of being a dad to her and being a positive father figure to her. And it's just really cool to see that, you know, even though he's a single father, and so he's still learning on the fly, but also co-parenting with Royalty's mom, and making that work. You know, sometimes that can be difficult dynamics, but Royalty's mom and Royalty's dad, Roger, have made it work, and I think that in the long run, it'll be very beneficial to their daughter.
I think that my dad definitely deserves the trophy for giving me the most parental advice, and not just by him telling me. It's just like over the experiences. Like, a lot of the advice hasn't really come from us sitting down and talking about it. A lot of the advice has just come from just living it, just in real life. Like, every day I'm just like paying attention, just soaking it up like a sponge. And so I'm just taking it in, even when he doesn't even know that he's giving me a lesson. He's giving me a lesson. So in 10 years, I see myself getting close to walking my daughter across the stage. And I see myself known as not just a great boxer that's from Chattanooga, but one of the greats in boxing.